If you are a New Testament Christian and not an Old Testament Christian, there is no way, follow the New Testament, there is no way you can believe that Israel is still the people of God and that God still has a covenant with Israel that is separate from the covenant that Jesus made with Israel and the nation. There's no way.
Yeah.
It's possible. Most people who want to prove that Israel is still God's people, they run to the Old Testament, subjugate the New Testament to the Old Testament when it's supposed to be the other way around. The Old Testament is subjugated to the New Testament because Christ is the goal of the law, its fulfillment, completion. He brings out its true meaning. But most people who are still, let's say, Zionists of a Christian type, they run to the Old Testament because they got nothing in the New Testament. Even Romans 11 doesn't support their case if it's properly exegeted. And many people who followed this path, where they subjugate the New Testament, Old Testament, many of them end up leaving Christianity altogether and convert to Judaism, or they embrace what's called the Noahide religion.
Yeah, which is like Messianic Jews, right?
No, the Messianic Jews, they'll say, we follow Jesus' new covenant, but we want to worship along the lines of the way the rabbis do. But if they keep following this path, it is inevitable they'll end up leaving Christianity and just going back to Judaism.
Okay.
By the way, let me address just two questions in your comment section. Number one, no, it's not good to use supersession, contrary to what the person said. I'm going with what the Lord said in Matthew 5, 17, 18. I'm using the words of the Lord. He said, do not think I came to destroy the law and the prophets, but to fulfill, i.e. consummate. That's why I'm using the terminology. I'm using the terminology of the Lord, because if you properly understand the Old Testament, it was all pointing to Christ. So when he comes, it's fulfilled in him. So that's why I'm using that term, because that's the language of our Lord in Matthew 5, 17, 18. Even Romans 10:4 says that Jesus Christ is the goal. If you look at the word telos, it means that the law was designed to bring you to Christ because he's the goal and the focus of the law. So there is no supersession. It's all fulfillment because it's all pointing to him. Romans 10 verse 4, Matthew 5, 17, 18.